Listen, there is so many cold cases where you're like, I know who did it. I know who did it. But the Tylenol cases, this is the one where I'm like, it could be anyone. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon, reviewing Cold Case of Tylenol Murder. So what's about pretty simple premise. In 1982, people were dying from cyanide poisoning by taking extra strength Tylenol. And where's this Tylenol coming from? The hospital, drugstores. Who's doing it? Is it a mistake on Johnson & Johnson? Is it a Mr. Lewis? Is it another person behind the scene? Is it some envious Johnson & Johnson employee that wants to, just cause havoc to the world? We will never know. And I think this is one of the cases where there's so much different evidence pointing in so many different directions. It's hard. And the reason it's hard is not just the cops focusing on Lewis. It's also the public focusing on Johnson & Johnson. It's also the public focusing on other people. So I think this is going to be the most fascinating cold case because I don't think this one's a hard one to figure out who done it. All right. So what I liked about this was short and sweet. Each episode was between 36 and 42 minutes. There's only 3 episodes. So it felt like it stuck to the facts, no bullshit, and it didn't want to say unnecessary interviews or unnecessary reasoning. It looks like this was filmed before 2023 because Mr. Lewis has died, and that was his last interview was in 2023. So, of course, this is a couple-year-old documentary of what they're trying to do. So it's really up to you who you think have done it. Because for me, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of, did Johnson & Johnson accidentally screw it up and want to hide it? Did Johnson & Johnson not know about it? And it was a rogue employee, because it was very interesting that most of these cases were in the Chicago area. And you would have thunk in the same time, it would have been more worldwide. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it could have been a grandma driving their car, or things like that. And but I do think there are a lot, and people are saying, well, cyanide poisoning doesn't take a lot of effects and things like that. But I just really do think that if it was like a true Johnson & Johnson error, we would have seen a fuck ton more. It would have been way more than the 7 that did pass away, in my opinion. Of course, people are saying it could be more than that. But you're telling me, though, that no multiple people in a household ate Tylenol, and it would just been just a fucking sporadic cyanide poisoning shenanigans. And of course, it's yeah, could have been Johnson & Johnson mishap for only doing 1, 2, 3 bottles. Sure. Could have been a rogue employee just wanting to test the waters. Sure. Could have been Lewis, who has a very shady fucking past, who wrote a letter, knew about the cyanide, had interesting things in his house. Sure. Also, it's the weirdest fucking thing about the neighbor, the dismembered neighbor. What the actual fuck is that? That is the one where I'm like, this is the cold case now I'm really intrigued about. How there's a dismembered body. I don't know if Lewis has the worst luck, or he's just the boogeyman because of a prison guard saying, or a prison mate saying something. He's like, I said it because this guy's fucked up. I want to know, I was guilty of doing shit. I don't want to be free. I'm just letting you know what I know. The letter to Jane about, bad shit that happened to his Down syndrome daughter, which is could have been the doctor that did it, not just the Johnson & Johnson patch. Oh, well, there's that as well. There's the rape scandal. There's just so many things with him, stealing $5,000 from his neighbor who's dismembered and said he would pay it back in a couple of weeks. Okay, you're going to pay $5,000 back in a couple weeks. Sure. There's just so many things where you're just I don't know. And I think that's really good for a cold case, because a lot of cold cases, you're I know who did it. It's one of the things come on, look at the evidence. Here, like I said, could it be the FBI leading towards a direction? Could it be the Chicago District Attorney? Could it be the Chicago PD? Could it be so many different directions focused on a specific subject that makes the viewer go, I don't know? And that is what I'm doing with this one. I don't know. The family member, this girl that when she was 6, her mom died. She's really focused on Johnson & Johnson. You have reporters saying it's Johnson & Johnson. I don't know. This is one where you watch this and you go, okay, 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 okay. And it is a lot of information given to you, but it doesn't treat the audience stupidly. It says, this is what we have. This is why it's a cold case. What do you think? And this is one where I don't know. Are corporations going to cover up so much shit? Fuck yes. Corporations, they want to keep their stockholders happy through and throughout. Could it, in them lying about cyanide being in this facility? Sure. Them doing their own testing? Sure. That's COI, conflict of interest, through and throughout. No, it's freaking conflict of interest through and throughout. That's all you can give to that one. But, I mean, this is a hard one. Them destroying the bottles before anyone's seen it. I don't know. Maybe it's the teeth of Mr. Lewis that made me think of a villain. Maybe it's Johnson & Johnson, the vaccine and Tylenol. I don't, but it's not really, Tylenol wasn't Johnson & Johnson. It was a subsidiary company in Philadelphia. So at a point, you're just like, do you blame Johnson & Johnson or the other company that made the pills? So this one, I thought it was filmed well. It gave a lot of information. It was very thought out of like, what will you believe? And we're not going to treat you stupid, but we're going to kind of leave the carrot dangling of what the conspiracy theorists are going to think. And do I have an opinion on this one? This is one where I do not. I think it could have been my opinion. If I had to take a freaking blood opinion, it was a random ass rogue employee that wanted it to see what he could do. And that's what I think it was. Do I think it was Johnson & Johnson's deliberate fault? No. Do I think it was the other company's deliberate fault? No. Do I think Lewis is a rapist, dismemberer, fraud, checker? Probably. But this is one where I don't ever think we're going to find out how this happened. So cold cases, the Tylenol murders will receive a 4 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 80%. Let's see the critics' news scores gave this one. Critics, we are at a 6. No, wait a minute. Yeah, 60% with the critics with 5 of them. We have a negative, a 2 out of 10. Damn! A positive, a 3.5 out of 5. A positive, and then just a negative. It says the one negative says there's not a lot to this one. But that's the thing. Sometimes it's a cold case where it gives you the data, and you just got to suck it up. 60, 80. Chase Tucker with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Futontopia. You Blue Tony. Say, watch. Have a great day. I'm going to watch Steed tomorrow, week from now, with a new year from now. We're going to go freaking one of you. And did you see this? And who do you think is guilty?